Hey guys, we're here to talk about how to run a business on the road. You want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. Wi-Fi. I think one important thing is that don't rely on your mobile phone and hotspot capabilities because the network is just not really reliable enough. I wanted to do in the beginning, and then I have the smart person that talks me out of it. Best in whatever system you might need for whatever speed you might need for whatever data you might need. There's a good site out there, mobilemusthaves.com. The link can be found below, I think.
Yeah, we'll put it there.
Okay, great. And various others that give a lot of tips and tricks, and you can buy the equipment from it. You can subscribe to the programs through it. In a very short sense, there's something you can buy, which is basically a SIM card, whether it's AT&T or any of the other providers, that allow you to tap into unthrottled, unlimited data, high-speed data, with your own little shark fin antenna or any kind of other equipment, routers, etc.
If you want us to go in full depth, we can totally just do a video on that. Just let us know down below.
We will.
So what would be another thing of what it takes to do business on the road?
A quiet place, just like anywhere.
Yeah.
If you have a dedicated office, if you have a space you can close the door at, if your kids are screaming while you're doing a Zoom call at home.
Or if you have 3 cats.
Or 3 cats, or a husband who constantly chats. It's the same thing on the road. You need to be on a call, you're launching a course, whatever it is, you need to just focus on something. Find a quiet place. Whether that you tell everyone else in the trailer to go take a hike, literally sometimes.
We've got good Wi-Fi, we've got a quiet place to work. What's next?
More comfortable is another thing. I made a mistake in the middle of a launch that Francesca was doing. I was in the process of upgrading the AC for the trailer, and we happened to be in a place with very high humidity and very high heat.
Nobody knows this story.
Well, I do. I mean,
Yeah.
I told everyone now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
None of my people know this story.
Somebody was sweating a lot while somebody else was sweating a lot doing different things, but they weren't really conducive to doing a great job working on the road. So plan that ahead, get all the works, all the little technical things out of the way, make sure it's comfortable.
One of the things that you take for granted being at home is just that you have your creature comforts of home, and when you're on the road you actually have to think about these things and think them through. So it seems like common sense, but we did struggle with these things while trying to run a business.
Well, and that includes literally being on the road,
Yeah.
because like on the road means you gotta drive, right? Sometimes you gotta go from place A to place B. It requires one of the 2 people, or if you're by yourself, or if you're with 8 people, who cares? But one of them is gonna have to do some driving, and if you're obviously, like with everything, you can schedule conference calls, but if you need to sit on a computer and do some video recordings or edit some pictures or do an Excel spreadsheet or whatever, you can't really be the driver. Natural, obvious, logical, but a lot of times you forget about these things when you're getting excited to go from Monday here to Tuesday there, and you're like, oh, when am I gonna do my work? So plan all that ahead. Dedicated drive time versus work time versus giving yourself just the headspace.
It definitely burns more brain calories, so keep that in mind. If you're planning on doing like a negotiation, do not recommend doing that while you're on the road trying to drive. You're going to be really distracted. When you're working on the road, you need to remember to plan your stops according to your work schedule. So again, if there's a negotiation, a course launch, a big project deadline, make sure that you're giving yourself ample amount of time being stationary to make that happen. For me personally, I was doing a course launch on the road and it was really stressful, but one of the stops was 5 nights opposed to 1 night to make sure that I had the prep time I needed, that I was ready to go for the launch, and then recovering afterwards.
Remember that there are check-in, check-out times, that you're connecting your car, rigging up, setting up somewhere, all takes time. Give yourself plenty of time. And I mean, for us, this was a completely new experience because we just never done this before. So is it half an hour? Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? How slow or fast can you move? How many things can go wrong? They always do. Give yourself an hour and guess if you have 30 minutes left, get a coffee.
A game changer for me when it came to working on the road was having a really strict morning routine, basically bookending your day. So you're in this really small space. You obviously love your partner and your children or your animals, whoever you're traveling with, but getting just a little bit of solo time to plan your day, to figure out how to strategize for any, big decisions that need to be made that day or direction to go in, whether it's with your team or with potential clients, etc. Morning routines were really important for me and for us. So we had a dedicated time that we kind of did our own thing, and I feel like that really help set the tone for the day. Lastly, I would say that dedicated work hours. So you're on the road, you've decided how many nights you need to stay in one location to feel really comfortable. You've got good Wi-Fi, you've done your morning routine. So what are your dedicated work hours while you're in that particular location? Also keeping in mind the things that you want to see and do in that location. So maybe it's not your typical 8 to 5, but do come up with dedicated work hours.
You're on the road, you're exploring, you're going to places you may not have been before. While you're sitting at home or you're going to your office, it's like the routine, right? You have your dedicated work hours. When you're on the road, you're going to sometimes cool places, sometimes not so cool places, but carve some time out to actually explore, because if all you're doing is working, you're not going to see much. Then the whole purpose of being on the road is kind of defeated. You might as well stay at home.
And I think we struggle with that, but opposite ends of the spectrum. So like I
just want to play.
Martin played a lot, and I worked a lot in the sense that I lost hours in my day because I was trying to keep to a traditional schedule, and Martin got so caught up in the experience that he sometimes forgot to work at all during the day. So it's good to just check in with yourself, check in with your partner, whoever you're traveling with, and just set that time frame to hold each other accountable, but also yourself, so you can continue to actually live on the road while you work on the road.
And that's that for this week.
Let us know if you found that helpful. I gave you 7 tips, so which of the tips was the most helpful down below, and we'll see you in the next video.